What's going on, boys? And welcome back to the weekly recap. This is the week 16 edition, aka round 2 of the fantasy playoffs. A lot to go over. Just let's not have people forget. This is what we're previewing the matchup for the championship. Look at that. I wanted to give this thing some screen time. I never sent it to Brian like I was supposed to. So it's still with you, boy. Getting this thing back on. And let's recap some matchups before we could recap a championship. We gotta or preview a championship. We gotta recap the semifinals. Look at me go! Sorry, can't help but do that. Matchup one of the semifinals was a shocker as Phil beat Finn. Now, it's not a shocker because, it's not that crazy of a shocker, I should say, because Phil's looked good all season. Not point wise, ironically. You actually would check the points for, and he's actually pretty low on that. His came in the form of his. Sorry, getting a call. His came in the form of just his team looking pretty solid throughout the whole year. Although he's not getting the numbers, like he just had like solid pieces. He did make a few traits. I think only one that's off the top of my head. But yeah, he's been deep throughout the year. So always a scared matchup to play, a scary matchup to play. Uh, but Finn is even scarier going into the week, and he has a good week, a 128 piece. But I guess Phil was saving his best performances for the playoffs as he puts up 145. I feel like it's got to be, or actually, it's a whole lot to check that right now. To me, that's the highest Phil scored on the season. Phil has gone nuclear, and he had points on the bench in a few different ways. Actually, he really didn't have points on the bench. Never mind, it was just the quarterback, which is just like 8, but some points. Uh, I mean, it's hard to nitpick Finn's lineup here because he only gets one person under double digits. CJ Stroud in his spot start for Mahomes going down does bad. But I mean, McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor look fantastic. Mike Evans looks to fill Finn's wide receiver 2 role better than Diggs and Shakir did all year. Glad to have him back. Jackson Smith, after some subpar weeks, 19 pieces, nothing to slouch about. And it was looking rough for a little bit there. Aaron Jones even putting up double digits. Vikings defense and Patriots kicker, great starts there. It's just what do you do with a Genty 31 piece? Kittle, his trade acquisition, the 21 piece. Zay Flowers finally has I think 17.7's got to be his best performance of the game. Uh, Phil's big problem is going to be picking which quarterback to start. Burrow, Stafford, and May is going to be a debate every week, and there's been a lot of points left on Phil's bench for that. So, tough decision there, especially going into the final weeks. But I think Christian Watson looked bad before going down again, anyways. But do we start Rome? Does he get healthy enough to play? Possibly. Double tight end, Fannin. Oh wait, Kittle's hurt. This is interesting, man. Feel a little banged up, but huge performance. Genty against Houston defense. Who would have thunk? Like this is huge, man. Big win for Phil. His last championship has got to be like 7 years ago. I think it was year 2. So it's like fucking 9 years ago. That is crazy. So back to the championship after a tumultuous past 8 seasons, 9 seasons, but he's there. Finn, after probably his best regular season yet, gets bounced. Doesn't even win a playoff game. This is why we play fantasy, man. And even bigger shocker is our next matchup here, which is not clicked preemptively, of course. But in the shocking turn of events, Ray beats Josh 119-90. Josh I'd say a 90-point performance being very uncharacteristic. Jackson Dart against Minnesota puts up uh 0.35, but then Baker kind of slow himself. Only gets 14. His quarterbacks have now let him down. Feels like it hasn't happened for him all season. So yeah, the rare miss there. But DK Metcalf leaves the game early. Josh Jacobs gets no work. It's so surprising how much work Emmanuel Wilson gets with a healthy Josh Jacobs, or what's believed to be healthy. Yeah, we had the Puka 40 piece on Thursday against a tough Seattle defense. I really thought that might have did something, but look at these Ray running backs, man. I know it's been them all year. He's not really gotten it from his wide receivers like that consistently. But wow, the Chase Brown game of the century, and Bijan is just Bijan. Lamar gets 5, and it doesn't matter. We get the huge Kenny Fairbairn start with Houston defense. Oh, wow, man. It's just Ray, you know, Ray doesn't look like he has the best team. But Ray has seemed to get it done in our league pretty consistently. I wanted to bring this up. Our first 3 years of the league, Ray was in before he left. Ray was tied for second highest win percentage before leaving. Like, we just have to remember that this guy is that guy, right? Like, what a play. Um, I think I think even since his return, so if we were to change it in the last, I think he played. Oh no, he's been back for 2 years. All right, so in the last 2 years, I mean Ray 14-14. He's getting it done. 8-6 after going 6-8 last year. This is just who Ray is. Ray actually participated in the first fantasy championship of this league's history. He was in the 2-week championship against Mark where he lost. Will he finally get his get back and get his ring? Or will Phil get his get back? Now, before we preview the championship matchup between Phil and Ray, I wanted to look at some old championship matchups. I thought that would be kind of fun. Now Devin might have told you guys, but he doesn't have access. Neither does ESPN any longer to the lineups in years 1 through 3. He says he has access now. He said he's going to add that to the website, but we don't have it. ESPN doesn't even have year 4 of our league anymore. Devin's website does though. So I wanted to look at all the fantasy championships and kind of look at some lineups and see who's like the best worst player to like do well in a fantasy championship. So I'm looking at Justin Davis put up 0 for Vinny. I didn't even know Vinny got a fantasy championship, or maybe I've forgotten. Before he ended up winning one, I didn't know he made it to one. Well, great start. Elijah McGuire getting a 20 piece for Vinny, his best performer on the week. Kalen Balazs. This is a crazy team. Adam Vinatieri is still playing in 2018. We're looking at young Baker Mayfield for Austin. Doug Baldwin, huge performer. Jamal Williams. Yeah, this is actually fun to look at, man. Still the best first player, probably Elijah McGuire. That is an insane start. He was projected 11, apparently, got him 20. Andrew Luck of Vinny's team. That's hilarious. Yeah, wow. But Elijah McGuire, definitely the best worst player to start. Year 5 of our league. Whoops. Year 5 of our league is Austin at Devin. Oh, I forgot about this matchup completely. I'm looking at Mike Boone get a start here. That's insane. Anthony Miller gets a start, gets 0.2 for Austin in the win still. Gardner Minshew getting a start in the championship. Drew Lock getting a start in the championship. We are insane. Like, this league is just kind of nuts in general. Ironically, Devin has the Gardner Minshew like picture in here. Gardner Minshew's on Austin's team. I don't even know the story behind this. That is insane. Yeah, Devin losing this matchup here. Looking at some of these performers, Devontae Adams, I think, plays in a good amount of fantasy championships. Josh Jacobs and Mike Evans hurt. Dang, Devin was injured going to the championship game. Probably the best worst player in this one is probably Miles Sanders. He's the only one that really does well. That's like a no name. Rashard Perriman getting his start and getting 10 is funny. But yeah, Austin ends up winning this somehow. The team kind of looks poopy outside of Mark Andrews, but yeah, what a donkey, what a poopy championship. Next, oh wait, no, that must have been year 5. No. I'm sorry. Yeah, we just saw year 5. Sorry. All right, so then this is year 6. It's my championship, and this one is remembered with the Devontae Adams game on Monday night. I remember that to get me the win. Ends up getting it kind of comfortably after how well Devontae did. But no one really out of the ordinary started here. Antonio Gibson is the worst player to start on my team. Lynn Bowden Jr. by Oh wait, whoa. Chris Carson played for Austin last year too. Chris Carson getting a back-to-back championship team run. Josh Allen on the bench. He started Deshaun Watson over Josh Allen. Dude, it's always funny looking back at these matchups, man. I got Giovanni Bernard putting up 16 piece outdoing all my running backs I started. I remember this was Antonio Gibson's God year. I loved Antonio Gibson after this season. I mean, the best worst player to start on this team or to do well on this team, I don't know. Gronk, Dalvin Cook. It's probably Deshaun Watson is the best worst player to start in this fantasy championship. This is rookie year Herbert too. Wow. First championship when I got this bad boy. Still, I think Elijah McGuire is the worst player to do well in a fantasy championship. Gonna keep going. The next year we have Devin losing to Vinny here. This is Vinny's championship. Devin starts Tyler Huntley, Ronald Jones, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook getting another fantasy championship start. It's funny who to see multiple times here. And yeah, I remember Vinny just relied on Eckler a lot this year. Maybe AJ Dillon getting 21 for Vinny. AJ Dillon in a surprise good game. It's got to be number 2 behind Elijah McGuire. Sony Michelle doing so well is hilarious. But I mean, yeah, no one else really does well on Devin's team here. It's Sony Michelle and the Saints defense that really did anything. Any good players on the bench here? Nope. Robbie Chosen for Vinny. Vinny with an extensive injury report too. Incredible. Yeah, kind of a snooze fest from Devin in the fantasy championship. I will not let him live that down. Now look how weird this one was. This is the year where DeMar Hamlin died in our fantasy championship and was resurrected later in the hospital. Literally on the field. We ended up just giving it to Brian because he was up 50 with a quarterback left, and he only had a quarterback and a wide receiver left. So we ended up just giving it to him. But yeah, this is an insane fantasy championship. Tony gets here with a 32 piece in the championship. I know it's not an authentic one, but I mean, wow, Brian wins with maybe scoring like 100, maybe 90. Some pretty low scoring games. But yeah, this is Brian's first championship. Then it's ya boy beating Finn in the fantasy championship 3 years ago. Oh my God, I'm losing track of time. But yeah, I mean, this is also a huge Devontae Adams championship week game for me. This is why I believed in Zamir White so hard. I love Zamir White. This is a great start for me. Probably the best worst player to do well. Still Elijah McGuire, but Zamir White. Yeah, that's really bad. but he did. He had a great game. I didn't even know I had Garrett Wilson on this team. Love that. Wait, I had Fergie Ferg on my championship team. I don't even remember that. JT, Justin Tucker on the team. Insane. Yeah, Lamar 40 piece didn't matter. McCaffrey here. Wow. I mean, this isn't that crazy of a lineup from either of us, honestly. Probably Zamir White, the craziest. But Elijah McGuire, gotta be number one. And obviously last year's championship. Uh, to just show you, is the highest scoring game of all time. That counts. Yeah, it was Brian's game against me in week 17. He beat me by, 91. I can't believe it. And yeah, I mean, there's just no one on this team that gets below double digits. We're looking at least 5 20-point games, one 30-point game. Yeah, I stood no chance. Not really any fun starts here either. Maybe Jalen McMillan who put up a 20. That's like probably gonna get looked at as crazy. I mean, this championship, this highest scoring week of all time is running double tight end. Johnny Smith getting a 10. So that's just fun too. I remember these two were like tight end 1 and 2 though, so it's not that crazy, but double tight end is just a fun matchup. And yeah, again, Brian's highest scoring game on the season or season in the league's history. That counts. Now let's get to our championship. Let's preview the real fucking deal. It's Brian versus Ray. They traded in matchups this Brian versus Ray. It's Phil versus Ray. I'm gonna restart. This is Phil versus Ray. Sorry. Sorry, Phil. They traded matchups earlier in this season, and overall, it seems to be all Ray. Ray won the middle four here. Phil won the first and the last matchup, though. The middle five. A little sandwich there in the matchups, but Phil, the more recent winner, and let's see if he could win where it matters. I mean, these are definitely both their starters. I can't imagine switching out any of them. Maybe quarterback, but I mean, still maybe not. Yeah, this is their lineups. I'm pretty certain. Unless Fannin comes in for Kittle, but I'm just gonna give the edge to Phil. I'm just gonna say it. Not gonna dissect too much. It is gonna be a close matchup, but I really do think it is Phil's time. Looking at Ray's lineup, I know you see the holes in the wide receivers, right? But we said that all year about the guy. He gets these wins, he gets them timely, and he gets just enough to happen in the game for him to win. So anything can happen. But from a predictor's perspective, you gotta go with the guy who's the heavy favorite, who I think has the best team, some favorable matchups. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one though. Fellas, that is it for the weekly recap. I appreciate y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all for tuning in always. And without further ado, that makes no sense. But I'll see y'all next week to recap who I end up Venmoing the championship winnings to. Hopefully, it's not Ray. I'm just going to say it. All right. See you next week, fellas. Peace.